I watched the film against Texas, and something that stood out to me is Fouché, flew over defender. This dude is giving it his all every single play. Catalan laying the boom as well. These guys are also solid in coverage, and Catalan has 2 picks on the year. I expect to see Ladarius Bishop and Montaric Brown playing at cornerback, maybe a little bit of Hudson Clark and some of the backups in the late game. Could see some Chris Paul Jr., Jackson Woodard, Andrew Parker, lots of different guys that could come out in the event of a blowout. Arkansas is an elusive defense with Barry Odom, and I wouldn't be shocked to see if it changes every once in a while. The triple option could just be very annoying to play, but I'm not too worried about having it being overwhelming after we stop Bijan Robinson. And then also, Sam Pittman said they set apart 3 to 4 days to practice the triple option because they didn't feel like they could get ready for it completely in 1 week. And that game preparation is elite. Now, Vegas has Arkansas as a 23.5 point favorite. The over-under on this game is 42.5. ESPN FBI gives the Hogs a 96.8% chance to beat Georgia Southern. Now, Arkansas and Georgia Southern have never played before. It's the first meeting ever. Georgia Southern turned into FCS to FBS in 2014. They had a lot of titles in FCS and was one of the most outstanding programs. So as expected, they moved on up.
It's time for Sam's prediction.
I got the Hogs winning this one pretty easily. Arkansas 42, Georgia Southern 13. Hogs win by 29. I'm not really worried about a post-Georgia Southern letdown. I'm not really worried about a post-Texas game letdown when the team got ranked. I do believe Arkansas is a top 25 team, very deserving of that ranking. And the thing is, Arkansas's focusing on one game at a time. Like I said for a while, you have a hard schedule in front of you, but you focus one game at a time. They're focused on Georgia Southern right now. I'm not really too worried about looking ahead at Texas A&M. Obviously, the game plan may, move a little bit in the fourth quarter to save guys gas, don't get them injured. So you might see Malik Hornsby out there, a couple of the freshman running backs as primary backs, and things like that. But in terms of game planning to win, don't think that'll be that much of a change. The triple option can be very annoying to play against, but I do see Georgia Southern struggling a little bit with the quarterback playing his first game of his season, especially against a tough SEC defense like Arkansas has. The key for run defense is just the 3-man front to create pressure on the offensive linemen, get the linebackers tackling, really just do what you did to stop Bijan Robinson, a guy that was considered a Heisman candidate before last week. And the passing game, I think, flows a lot better for the Razorbacks. I'm predicting Trelon Burks to have an 100-plus yard game with 6 or more catches, and then KJ with 200 or more yards. That's my bold prediction for the week. I think Georgia Southern secondary has struggled a lot within the last few games, and I anticipate it on that continuing. Now, that has been all for this episode. I appreciate you guys listening. So, y'all know the deal. Woo pig suey.
That's all for today's episode of All Hogs Sports with Sam Stimson. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode covering all Arkansas Razorback sports. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on social media too. On Twitter and Instagram at All Hogs Sports Pod. Like on Facebook at All Hogs Sports and Arkansas Razorbacks Podcast. And on YouTube at that same name. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Go Hogs!